What's up, winners? Welcome back to the channel, Winning with Nick. I hope you guys are ready because today's video is going to be a great one. We're going to be talking about the importance of self-worth and realizing the value of player one, being the protagonist in your own life. Let's get to it. Alright guys, so what do I mean by being the protagonist in your own life? Being player one, that's a phrase I like to use. Valuing yourself. What does all that mean? Well, I can tell you what it's not first of all. Allowing people to walk over you. Being what's referred to as a people pleaser, putting others before yourself. Now, am I telling you to go out and be like a selfish asshole who doesn't care about anybody, who just stomps all over people? No. What I'm also telling you is not to compromise your well-being just to please other people. You know, winners, we don't do that here. As you saw, Avengers Infinity War, remember when they got to Wakanda and T'Challa was like, we don't do that here? Well, that's how it is on this channel. Compromising ourselves to make other people feel better, winners, we don't do that here. But back to the topic at hand. So just valuing yourself, realizing that player one is important. A quote that I've stated in previous videos, you cannot give what you don't have. So if you yourself are not a winner, if you yourself as player one are not set up to win, you can't really give a life of winning, a winning experience to other people. But that comes later down the line once you begin to experience success, once you've started to win in your own life. And one of the ways you do that is by realizing the importance of player one, you watching this video. So a lot of times in life, we go through experiences in which we have a choice to either do what's right for us, what's best for us, or to compromise our well-being and our mental health to please another person. In today's video, I'm telling you, no longer should you compromise your well-being, your mental health, your physical health, just to please someone else. You have to realize that you as an individual, you have value, you have worth yourself. And you should prioritize your own happiness. The late great comedian Patrice O'Neal, happiness, my happiness, player one's happiness is paramount. If you just go through this life always trying to make other people happy but never trying to make yourself happy, you're going to lead a miserable life. And I can tell you right now, when you're winning in life, you're not miserable because you're continuing to move on through life. Winning, 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 moving on from one thing to the next. You don't have time to be miserable. You don't have time to think about stupid things like, did I make that person happy enough? It doesn't matter. You're player one, your happiness is paramount. Now, a breakdown of that is not looking for happiness in other people. A mistake we make a lot as human beings is, for my guys out there, trying to find happiness or self-worth in girls. For professionals, trying to find happiness or your worth as a employee in a job. One of the things I've spoken on in the past is when you reach a certain level of winning or self-worth, you can become an entrepreneur, and rather than working to help someone else achieve their dreams, you're having people work for you to achieve your dreams. And to me, that is the ideal state because your dreams matter just as much as the next person. This whole video is about the importance of player one, your self-worth. So you don't want to get in a habit of, my guys, like I said, you know, chasing women, chasing girls, trying to find a happy place, or just trying to chase anything artificial or superficial to make you happy. You know, you don't want to fall into vices or the dark and gritty side of life where you're just looking for a quick fix, whether that be any form of pleasure. I won't dive too deep into that, but just anything that's just against winning, anything just outside of you making you happy. Because I promise you, if you work on yourself enough, whether that be reading a few hours a day, whether that be dedicating more time to your schoolwork, whether that be putting more hours in the gym, anything that's on the self-improvement side of life will create a sense of happiness, because you'll be able to look yourself in the mirror and realize those results are what you worked for. No one else did that. That's why you always hear me say, be the hero of your own life story. Don't let, because no one's going to come increase your life or make your life better. You have to do that on your own. So that's just kind of number one. Don't look for happiness in other people. Now on to number two, outcome dependent thinking. So as I said, you don't want to chase happiness in other people, but also when situations don't go in your way. One of my favorite sayings, if you know any of my friends or anything like that, family, you know, one of my favorite sayings is on to the next, because you cannot allow situations that did not go the way you want them to consume you and just take up all your life, mental health, and just well-being in general. If a situation doesn't go the way you want, on to the next. Don't let that one situation just create a lifetime of being miserable. You know, so what you didn't make the grades you wanted on your test. So what, you got a B. Realize the B is not what you wanted, but don't dwell on it. Work harder so on the next test you can make an A. For my guys out there, another example. So what the pretty girl at work or the pretty girl at school said no. Who cares? On to the next. Honestly, when you're winning and you're working on yourself, doing self-improvement, you'll come to find you really don't have time for the sources of pleasure in life, relationships, things of that nature, because you gotta put yourself in a position where you're succeeding, and a lot of times trying to find a relationship can distract you from your goals. So I honestly encourage my guys out there to focus on building yourself up, especially us younger guys. You know, we gotta focus on building an infrastructure in our lives that we can thrive on later in life. So right now, people in college, focus on your studies. You know, for people who are working in a job that didn't choose to go to college, you know, stick with that job, work your way up that ladder so you can be at a point in which you're proud of. I promise you, all the pleasures and good times you're looking from, they will come naturally and will come with the journey of becoming a winner. You don't need to be out dedicating time and energy, actually not dedicating, but wasting time and energy on chasing a good time or chasing the pretty girl from math class. I promise you, it's a waste of time. Just worry about yourself. Worry about player one. I didn't say anything about player two in this video, if you noticed. Player one is what's paramount. Player one is what's important. So outcome dependent thinking, you cannot let the way a situation goes determine the way that you act. That's another thing, that just like your frame of mind, you don't want to lead a life in which you think everything emotionally. You want to use your brain in situations. You know, people always say like, go wherever the heart wants. I don't believe that. I believe you should have a logical mind, because when you are in a sane state of mind, when you're thinking with your brain and not your emotions and logic, that's when you make your best decisions. When you're making decisions off of emotions, that's when you're going to make decisions that you regret. So I know this one is a long one, but I just hope you're keeping up with the main ideas, the main points of today's video. Just not being an outcome dependent thinker, thinking with your mind, your logic over emotions, and not searching for happiness in other people, because this is all things I've learned through experience. Everything I tell you guys is from personal experience. Anytime you're trying to create happiness from other people, I promise you they will never live up to the expectations you have for them. So the best way just to avoid the emotional roller coaster that comes from that is to realize happiness, true happiness, comes from within. All these things I'm telling you about, winning at life, reading books, working out, taking your classes serious for those of y'all that are students, things of that nature, working on yourself, my guys out there, you know, not chasing women all the time, realizing that self-improvement is paramount. Becoming the best version of yourself is what's important, not so much chasing pleasure or vices, things of that nature, and just not allowing crappy situations to determine the way that you act, but acting with a sound mind. Again, just because you got a B and you wanted an A, that doesn't mean you're a crappy student. All it means is, and what you should take from that is, okay, I didn't measure up to what I know that I can do, so I'm going to work a lot harder. So next time I take that test, this is all metaphorical, but this test is anything in life that refers to adversity. So just because I didn't measure up to what I know I can do this time, I'm going to work that much harder so I can go above and beyond what I expect for myself next time. So guys, this has been a video just detailing the importance of player one in 3 aspects of how you can do that. You know, number 1, not looking for your happiness in other people. Number 2, not letting situational outcomes affect the way you think, just not being an outcome dependent thinker, but being outcome independent. And lastly, number 3, thinking with your brain and not your heart or your sexual desires, because that will only lead you astray from the path of winning. Thank you guys for tuning into today's video. Remember, you must be the hero of your own life story, because no one will make you a happy individual. No one will make you a successful individual. Those are all things you must do for yourself. And on that note, don't forget to like the video if you agreed with any of the points, or even if you disagreed, comment down below. We can have a debate. And then also, if you like what you heard today, share the videos. And the last thing I'll say, it feels good to be back to be making these videos for you guys. You know, I've been out 5 weeks. Feels great to be back. And on that note, I'm out.